Hey everyone, it's Nata here and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm gonna show you how to knit this vest. My vest has a shallow neckline. Shoulder seams are made using the stitch-to-stitch method. Armholes are formed from the bottom up. The measurements and pattern you can find in the description box. That is, I started knitting from the bottom up, then formed the armholes, and then I knitted the front and back pieces separately. Knit vest for Atin, my daughter, with a perfect fit. See how neat the neckline looks. If you like it, let's begin. So we need the yarn. I used Mafil Pradesh 5 balls and half ball, size 4. Like that. Circulars 5.5 for rib and 6.5 for stockinette stitch. Also Tapstry needle, scissors, markers, scrap yarn. So I'm going to cast on 101 stitches. I prefer the long tail cast on method. You can cast on however you like. Please make sure that stitches are not twisted. Then I'm going to join in the round. Slip first stitch and pass over this stitch. Okay, and come back to the left needle and place the marker. Okay, and I'm going to knit the rib one by one. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, and that's the way I'm going to knit 10 rounds. Well, the rib is done. This is how it turned out, and now I'm going to change the knitting needles to another size and knit the body. Okay, look at that. I have detachable knitting needles and I can easily change them. If you have solid knitting needles, you just knit one round only with stockinette stitch with the needles of the right size. Okay? And now I'm going to knit the body I will need the body stockinette stitch without buttons, cables and so on. We knit to the length we need to the armholes. I knitted 45 rounds and the body of the vest is finished. Get ready to knit the armholes. We will separately knit the front and back using the method back and forth. Let's start from the front, and the back piece needs to be transferred with the scrap yarn. I used a cable for circulars with blocks for this. And I'm going to shape the armhole and knit to the neckline. Well, act. Slip stitch, and knit one and pass over, and knit one and pass over. Well, knit to the end of row, and the last stitch, purl stitch. Turn wrong side, slip stitch, purl one and pass over, and purl one and pass over. And continue on to the last stitch, and last stitch a slip. Okay, continue on, purl stitches. It's my last stitch and I slip and turn. And again slip stitch and slip stitch, pass over, knit one and pass over, slip slip, pass over, knit one, pass over, and knit another stitch. And slip last stitch. Wrong side, slip, slip, and over. Okay, then purl one and over. Well, and continue on, purl stitches, the last stitch, slip, and turn, and the last decrease. Slip stitch and slip stitch, and over. Decrease 1 stitch and knit to the end of row. And wrong side, slip stitch and slip stitch, and over, and continue on to the end of a row. It was the last decrease. In total we decreased 5 stitches on each side. Okay, turn. Okay, that's enough. Like that. From the back side it will be similar, and that is enough for a normal fit. And I'm going to continue. I will knit to the neckline 24 rows, back and forth. Okay, next step is shape the neckline and shape the straps left and right. First, let's divide the piece into 2 parts. And for this we will place the marker I'm going to knit 20 stitches, then place marker, and 20 stitches. Well, I will knit 2 straps at the same time. For this I need 2 balls of yarn, 1 ball for the left strap and 1 ball for the right, like that. Okay, let's start. The left strap, 1 ball, and slip stitch, knit 16 stitches, okay, remain 3 stitches and 2 stitches I knit together. Turn these stitches and knit together, and to the last stitch I knit twice. Okay, the right strap and another ball. Take the working thread from the second ball and knit. Slip stitch and knit 2 stitches together. 2 stitches together, left direction. The tail pull up, and this decrease right direction and this left direction, and knit 16 stitches and the last purl stitches purlwise. Like that. Okay. Turn the work. On the front side we knit the purl stitches. First slip and purl stitches. I pull the yarn a little because my yarn is not elastic and the fabric stretches a lot when knitting back and forth. Okay, knitted the right strap. Drop the yarn of this ball and take the yarn from that. Slip stitch and knit. Purl stitches. And we knit the left strap front side. And turn. Okay. Arrange the ball so that the yarn does not get tangled. Right direction, left direction. This stitch knit twice. Purl stitch, slip stitch. Okay. Now we will make decreases in each front row. And I'm going to continue doing this until my straps are the width that I want. There should be 8 stitches left on each strap. Let's count 8 stitches. Well, And this is what it looks like when finished. Okay, good. And now I'm going to cut the yarn, leaving a small piece. Later we will sew. Okay, the stitches of shoulders need to be transferred on the scrap yarn. I will leave it like that. Then I'm going to knit 33 rows back and forth to the neckline here. So now I'm going to knit the back and shape the armhole exactly the same as in the front, decreasing 5 stitches on each side. Okay, let's take measurements. And now I have 40 row and I will place the markers. I divide this piece onto 3 parts. 12 stitches, place marker, 16 stitches, place marker, and 12 stitches. Okay. Now I'm going to shape the armhole onto back part. I have 12 stitches and knit the strap, slip stitch and knit 11 stitches, the last stitch knit. Okay, turn, and here I make decrease, slip stitch, purl 1 and over. Okay, and purl stitches, purl stitches to the end of row. and again slip stitch. Oh, and knit stitches. Last knit, okay, and turn, slip, and make decrease, purl 1, and over, and purl stitches to the end of row, and repeat like that total 4 times. Total 8 rows. Well. Next step, cut the yarn. And now I'm going to transfer my stitches to scrap yarn, 8 stitches of shoulders and 16 stitches of neckline, okay, and now I'm going to shape the left back strap. Slip stitch, knit 1 and over, and knit 10 stitches, and the last purlwise, front side slip stitch and purl 10 stitches. And repeat 4 times, total 8 rows. So good. Now I'm going to sew the shoulders. I'm going to use the stitch to stitch method. Okay, place the needles parallel to each other and start sewing. I'm going to insert the tapestry needle into each stitch 2 times. First Start from the bottom up and then from the top down. Stitches mustn't be twisted. From bottom to top. From bottom to top. Okay, come back from top to bottom. And next stitch. And next stitch. From bottom to top. Like that. Okay. Come back from top to bottom. And next stitch from bottom to top. And come back from top to bottom. Like that. And next stitch from bottom to top. And repeat from bottom to top and come back. From top to bottom. From bottom to top. From top to bottom. And new stitch from bottom to top. And this stitch from top to bottom. And pull a little my yarn so that the stitches are even and beautiful. Okay. And repeat the same. And we sew the second shoulder in the same way. Okay, next step, armhole strapping. Take smaller knitting needles and begin to pick up stitches from the armhole. I'm going to pick up stitches from each such chain. Here and here and here. Only 62 stitches. going on. I picked up 62 stitches, and now I'm going to pick up 2 more stitches so that there are no holes, and these stitches will be knit in the future. Pick up here, okay, and knit, and pick up here. And knit. So good. And I'm going to knit rib one by one. Now I'm going to place marker. Okay. And knit rib one by one. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, and the last knit stitch, and continue on 8 rows, 8 rounds. So it's all good. Next step, cast off. I want to show you how I cast off with a tapestry needle. I took the yarn with the length of 3 turns of the armhole. And let's begin. So we have 2 sides, right side and front side. And I'm going to connect only the knit stitches. Like that. Knit stitch, and knit stitch. The yarn at the back of work and turn, and here knit stitch, and knit stitch. Right side and the stitch that is connected 2 times will be skip the knitting needle. And yarn at front of work, skip stitch, and the next stitch, I connected and the yarn and back of work, and this. Knit stitch and skip. Okay, look at that. Knit stitch and knit stitch, knit and knit. And again the yarn at front of work, skip and connect, and here skip and connect. Next, skip stitch and connect with knit stitch. Skip and connect, and continue on. I hope this is clear. Connect 2 stitches on one side, then connect 2 stitches on the other side. Insert the tapestry needle into each stitch 2 times and drop the one that was sewn twice from the knitting needle. Cast off the last 2 stitches . Block as desired . And check it out. So, well, only the collar remains. Pick up the stitches around the neckline. I'm going to pick up 63 stitches. Pick up through the each chain . And this stitch I'm going to knit, rip one by one. First stitch, knit stitch, second stitch, purl stitch, for convenience it is better to transfer them to the knitting needle. These are the same stitches that we transferred when shaping the neck. Okay, and knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, okay, and I'm going to continue, pick up, I want to have 2 stitches in the middle of the neck, so I will pick up another additional stitch here, like that. Okay, and place the marker. And let's begin to knit the rib one by one. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1, it's the first row, second row, turn the stitch and knit 2 stitches together. Next stitch, knit stitch, next purl stitch, knit, purl, and around, and in around to the last 2 stitches. Here, 2 stitches together through the front loop. So good. Right direction. And repeat 2 rounds 3 more times. After decreasing, I have 55 stitches left. And I will also cast off them with the Tapstry needle. Okay, I'm so glad that you did this work. And I'm so grateful to you for this. If my video was helpful, please subscribe and thank you for watching. Happy knitting! Bye bye!